What's going on, everybody? You're tuned in to another edition of the Mulatto Vanguard podcast. So for this episode, this one is titled Breaking Barriers with Language Acquisition. So from what I can see, conversing and talking with mulatto people from around the planet, that it seems like we have a collective plight, meaning a similar situation from mulattoes like myself in America to those in Canada, to those that are in Great Britain, to those that are in France, to those that are in Brazil. I've been noticing this, that there is in fact some converging similarities. So there is in fact a kind of international plight, if you will, that ties us together. And because we, in fact are globally, we are global people. Now, it's not in the sense of, globalism or pan-racialism. I identify and respect everyone's independent groups and their racial category. The whole position of me being in America is historically we've seen there's been efforts with the federal government to eliminate us as a group. And also it's not just the federal government, but other entities within our society here in America that have tried their hardest to erase the mulatto designation. So there is a historical example of that here in America, but we see that happening in other places as well. What I've seen a lot is it's been going on with Brazil, but I'm going to talk a little bit about that later on because I'm still very new to that subject of in Brazil. But the whole point is I'm seeing a connection. Okay, I'm seeing a connection. I'm seeing that we have a similar plight here that a lot of mulatto people have down in Brazil and other areas. So to work together as a group, right, to coordinate and to solve these issues and solve problems, what we seem to find, on the kind of global scale, obviously, is the language barrier, right? And my whole position is to find ways to work on different ways to eliminate the language barrier. And simply, we can do that with language acquisition, learning a new language, right? So, of course, learning a new language is extremely beneficial all around, right? It can improve your brain function, such as memory and focus, but also the kind of cultural and social benefits with learning a new language is invaluable. There is so many benefits. Only positive things can occur with learning and acquiring a new language. So, of course, what I envisioned for myself personally as a language teacher is to travel the world. So just for starters, I can state that me, myself, professionally, I am a language teacher. So I teach English as a second language to students from around the world. So I get to interact with a lot of different people from around the world, which is a great thing. And eventually my goal is to take this endeavor abroad. Not only just, sitting on my laptop in my office or wherever I'm at, as long as I have an internet connection, but actually go to other countries and teach a full classroom is something that I am working on making a eventuality. So, that's what I envision for myself personally as an English teacher, is traveling the world teaching English. And of course, vlogging is a great way to work along with that. But the thing is that I think the main kind of what I would say, like the main benefit is to be able to connect with people, right? And sharing our stories and telling people who we are and letting people themselves tell, their story of who they are without other people telling their stories for them. And that happens a lot. I know as far as the mulatto plight here in America, that our stories are told for us, and they're told, for us, and they're used to serve other people's interest, where our own personal journeys kind of get overlooked and ignored and pushed to the side, our own dilemma. It's funny because they kind of have a slur for us, people meaning like, biracial, specifically black, white, some people, mainly within the community, they could refer to us as a cry-racial, right? If we take our dilemmas to them and tell them and, explain to them what we don't like about how certain things are going or certain social norms, people will call us a, quote, cry-racial. So that's like a shaming tactic to get us to essentially fall in line and, don't tell your story. Don't share how you really feel. Just accept it, That's not going to be the case, as we can kind of see. But moving along to one of my other points, not only for me as a language teacher, how it's beneficial, because I'm not only a teacher, I'm also a language student. So I'm also a language student. And just recently, I've decided to learn Portuguese, And the journey, I'm starting slow with my language journey, learning Portuguese. But eventually, I'm at the point where I'm going to hire a tutor. And I do have one in mind. Of course, the lady, she's a Brazilian mulatto. So I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm hoping things, can get started soon. And I hope things work out for the best. So I'm really excited about that. And, also obviously Spanish would be high up on the list. We think of Dominican Republic and Panama, Colombia. There's a lot of, connections that could be made. Just by learning Spanish, you can connect yourself with mulattoes around the planet. But of course, with Portuguese, we have Brazil. Literally 43% of the nation of Brazil is mulatto, and also Cape Verde on the coast of Africa. So for me in the past, month or so, I've had a lot of interactions with Brazilian mulatto people, right? And so, like I said, just with the interactions, with the language barrier, this is why I'm talking to you guys now, is it's important for me to step up and be able to translate and transcribe the language so we can share our stories and have a better communication network. Because right now it's there's a lot of fuzz in between, I guess I can say, a lot of things don't make sense, the work and effort that comes into it to being able to, translate the language. But I think, the goal, the benefits, it outweighs the work and effort that's put into it. But it's a journey is what I'm saying. So, and a lot of the interactions I'm having with this particular Mestizo group has been very, very insightful. And I've come to that conclusion that a lot of our plight here in America with a lot of mulattoes here, very similar to what I see with a lot of the Brazilian, mulatto Brazilians. So, and of course, like I stated, 43% of the nation of Brazil is listed as mulatto. And they actually even have their own national day. They call it the Day of Mestizo, which is in June 27th. It's an annual holiday for those who are of mixed race heritage to celebrate. It's definitely something that I'd like to see here in the States. And of course, that falls in line with J4 Conversations 9 criteria, right? And that's actually criteria number 9, which would be having our own mulatto day, mixed race day, a day of celebration. So other places around the world, seems like they kind of are a little bit forward with being able to, observe that and identify that that's an important thing. And there's another, mixed race group that I belong to, which is a all French group. Now, I don't know any French at the moment. And, the being able to kind of, translate and transcribe the French text, it's a very kind of big task, an extra task, right? But like I said, I think the reward, it outweighs the work that's put into it. But it's just something to throw out there. It's something that I feel like it's beneficial. I'm saying this to you guys too. I encourage everyone else, even if you don't know French or you don't know Portuguese, don't know Spanish, look to connect with some of these other groups and these people to converse, and then that will spark interest, hopefully, in you, to where particularly, you can learn a new language, pick up a new language, so you can kind of bridge that gap, right? Make connections that way. So the importance of advocacy and building connections, that's the whole point. I feel like language is one of the best ways to do that, right? For us to just simply share our stories, but then also, like I say, come up with solutions to solve problems. And obviously as well, staying on top of geopolitical events is extremely beneficial to us, as we can measure ourselves and see how we are doing compared to other groups, and not just only monoracial groups, but also comparing ourselves with other mulattoes around the planet. right? Whatever country they're in, particularly, where they reside at, and how their lifestyle, and I guess I can say living standard, compares to other mulatto people, right? Socially, economically, health-wise, etc. Saying like an American mulatto, how is the lifestyle socially, politically, economically compared to mulatto in Cape Verde? These are some numbers. These are some things that we should definitely look into, gathering data to see where is the best fit, who has the best lifestyle where, and I think it would definitely be beneficial to a lot of us. Just some things, to look at, just some thoughts I kind of wanted to muse with you guys here on this, but let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. Put a comment. I want to hear from you guys. So, of course, like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, beautiful people, sayonara.